Happy Thursday, class. So today I am going to cover, I'm going to go over some of the information that you should be thinking about right now in terms of your visual rhetorical analysis essay, and just remind you about your virtual attendance assignment that's due, as well as talk about your homework for the weekend. All right, so in our announcement today, I basically go over the idea of the rhetorical situation, which was our Monday memo. So, again, when we're talking about this essay being a visual rhetorical analysis essay, what we're really doing is we're going to analyze or break down, which is what analysis means, break down into its parts, the rhetoric, the way rhetoric is used visually, primarily, to make an argument. So, what that means for our particular assignment is you are going to choose a public service announcement. Public service announcement is a very particular kind of advertisement. It's an advertisement that seeks to raise awareness or change the viewer's behavior on something. For example, smoking, or the use of proper car seats or seatbelt, or opioid addiction, littering, pollution in the ocean. So there are a whole range of different kinds of situations that your public service announcement might be addressing. Typically, the author or creator of that public service announcement is either a nonprofit or a government organization. So your website that you're going to find when you go and say, well, who made this ad on wearing seat belts or on pollution in the ocean? And what you're going to typically see is a website that's got a .org or a .gov suffix. Once in a while, you're going to find companies, corporations, commercial entities that create these PSAs. For example, I know Volvo and BMW both have done like safety, either seatbelt wearing or car seat, or don't text and drive kind of public service announcements. So it's not always a .org or a .gov, but it often is. And so as you're starting to look for your ad, because you'll need to find it, your PSA, by Sunday, well, really before Sunday, because your assignment is due Sunday night, you want to probably Google not just public service announcement, but you might want to Google, for example, public service announcements on, for example, if you're interested in, again, environmental or pollution, you want to maybe put that in your Google search. If you're interested in text safety or the opioid addiction, you want to Google public service announcements on those particular issues. Or you might look up something like Surfrider Foundation, or People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or the SPCA, the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. So if you know you've got a particular interest, you can look up, Google something more specific. Another tip is to Google when you go to your search bar, say which nonprofits are involved in whatever issue you want to spend your time looking at. Okay. So let me back up and say you're not writing your paper on the issue, and students often get confused. You are looking at a public service announcement, which has a very specific goal. All right, so let's go back and let's look at this Thursday check-in announcement. So again, you wanted to watch your videos that were under your week 5 and really think about the rhetorical situation as being comprised of these 5 components. So the creator, author, speaker. So this would be like your nonprofit, your organization. The text is your ad itself. The audience is, who do you think this ad was intended for? This is really, really important that you think about audience. And then for what purpose? So if it's about texting and driving, the audience, who is this? Is this parents? Is this all drivers? Is this drivers, teenage drivers, or parents of teenagers? So again, you want to think about who that audience might be, and it might be multiple audiences, with the purpose to do what? Is it to raise awareness? Is it to get people to stop doing something? To get people to start doing something? And then again, context. This has to do with timing. All of these ads were created at a moment in time. You want to do a little looking into that. What was going on in the world that would maybe make this important. So if your ad is about, say, gun control in some way, shape, or form, gun laws, was this, were these ads created just after maybe a particularly horrific public shooting or a school shooting, something like that? Okay, so this is your little image that covers this idea of your rhetorical situation. So you want to think about this when you're thinking about some of these public service announcements. All right, now that you've got a solid understanding of your audience, you're going to begin to think about how this rhetoric, this persuasion is being applied. How is it being used? And when we do that, we think about 3 rhetorical appeals. The appeal of logos, which is logic, fact, reason, statistics. We talk about the appeal of ethos. This is credibility, authority, believability. And then pathos, which is all kinds of emotions. All right. So when you're thinking about the public service announcements, so as you start to say, well, what do I want to write about? Which one do I want to use for my essay? And also for the first discussion board, the one that's due tonight, as you're looking at that, you're going to think about these things. How are these various appeals being applied? Is it primarily emotion driven? Is it primarily factual? Is there a lot of statistics on your ad? Like 2 out of every 5 people who text and drive end up in an accident, something like that. So you're going to think about these. And remember, your discussion board, you've got 2 things. You've got your VAA tonight, and then you've got your Sunday discussion boards. You've got 2 discussion boards as homework this week. So let me go ahead. We'll click into that in a second, but let me just kind of finish out this announcement. You're going to really want to take care to read this. This is all about ethos, logos, and pathos. All right. So when we go to this, back to week 5, again, you've got these two bits of homework. So we're going to click in here. Remember, be sure to look at this PowerPoint. It's pretty extensive. Go through, read, watch all these little videos. They're all very short. Altogether, you might end up with 15 minutes of videos. This is your VAA for the week due tonight. You're going to click into this public service announcement, and you're going to be thinking in this exercise all about the rhetorical situation. You're not thinking about ethos, logos, and pathos with this one. Then you're going to go and do a little Googling research and find your particular public service announcement that you wanna write about, and you're gonna, once you find it, you're gonna click in here. Okay, you're gonna create your thread. You know how to do this, but you need to be sure, and you're gonna of course write your name here in your subject, you want to be sure to download a JPEG or some sort of file in your public service announcement image, and then you're going to upload it here with this little plus. This little plus says add content. It'll bring you to inserting this file. All right, and then you're also going to add a link to the website of your organization. So if that's Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, you'll add that link directly after you post that image. Okay? Then you're going to answer these 3 sets of questions, part 1, 2, and 3. Who do you think your ad was created for? You're going to really think hard about that. What do you think it means? Does it tell a story? What message is it sending? And then finally, how does it use ethos, logos, and pathos? All right, so this is all about your ad. Then you've got to go and respond to 2 of your classmates' ads with feedback, and you really want to be helpful. I will be looking at this because if I look at someone's PSA, as soon as I see it, the sooner you get yours posted, the better. So I can be giving you that feedback that says, you know what, this is not going to work for you, or oh yeah, this looks great, keep going. And I might say, well, have you thought about this? Now, some people have been asking about videos. I don't want you to use a video. I want it to be, could be something that was meant to be a print ad or a digital, like something in a magazine or a poster or a billboard. You'll see some that were originally meant to be billboards. Those are more appropriate. All right, let me go ahead and get out of here. All right, that's it. Let's see. Let's go back to Module 2. So that's this week's work. Your goal by the end of this week is that you will have had your first kind of thinking by tonight about rhetorical situation, particularly audience and message. And then you'll have chosen your PSA by the end of this week and thought about it. All right, any questions, give me an email.